flash. Okay, this is day one of following my dreams because I have no other choice. Today is Wednesday, and on Monday I submitted my master's thesis, and this is the first time in my life that I have not had any sort of school or education to go back to. So I realized this is probably the only time I'll ever have to actually pursue my interests and my dreams. And I feel like if I don't do it now, then I'll regret it. And I decided to video it, sort of a document log for myself, and also because I never know where it could go. So I have a master's bucket list on my laptop of everything that I want to do, but also part of my dreams are starting my Substack seriously, because I would like to be a writer, and also learning how to produce music and play the guitar seriously. And some of my main goals, scary as they are to say, are to attend London Fashion Week, to go to New York, and to have an album. Also to be able to live off of my writing. I think those are my four main things. So I already have an idea for my Substack. I'm going to be writing a piece on the longing for physical media, reflecting on how a lot of Gen Z, myself, we are resorting back to looking for CDs, collecting magazines, going back to real books, sort of in a pursuit of things that we can connect with tangibly. I feel like so much of our life is online and on screens and not real. We're not able to build a proper connection with it, and with things like TikTok, Instagram, with how fast social media moves, a lot of the connections that we do build end up being transient, because once you see something, it's gone, and also creators can just take things off the internet or edit them, and then the original version is gone forever. And there are internet archives and stuff like that, but they can still be taken down or copyrighted. And then again, a piece of media that you connected with is just gone forever. So I want to write about how we're turning back to physical media, away from subscriptions. We want to own things. We want to have a real connection with the things that we own. And as part of that, I've ordered a few physical media things. So, step number one, I know Amazon is. Let me check this is not. Okay, I had to check that my headphones weren't connected, otherwise I would have just been speaking to God. And also I'm checking that it's recording in a mirror behind the camera. So, lots of things happening. Anyway, also I'm talking quickly because I don't know how much storage I have. And that's also why I'm going to be checking in the mirror as well. So, first things first, unboxing. Oh, it's beautiful. It's from the Bratz Going Out dolls. I watched the music video Think About It, and I've been obsessed with it ever since, because I was obsessed with the Bratz Going Up, and I do believe they've shaped me into the person that I am. When I watch a lot of the movies and stuff, they're always talking about how you can be anything, you can start a magazine, you can do whatever you like, all with your best friends, and I just find them very, very inspiring. So this is part of the physical media, because this is now something that I own and can't, be taken away from me. And also I can build a real connection with something like this. And then Jade was my favorite in this series. I think the red lip is amazing. And then also as part of this, I ordered 2 Bratz Movies DVD versions. And right now I'm about to go out and try to find the September British Vogue. It is September right now, so I know that it's in the magazine aisles. So I'm looking for that. And I'll also be talking about different sort of books and just all sorts of physical media things that we can own, and just the importance of building connection to things that we own and actually being able to own something, not within a subscription service. So that's the first step toward my dreams. Buying things. No, not buying things, but like I already have it all drafted on paper, so now I just need to write it down for real. So I'm back with British Vogue for September, where the cover girl is Michaela Cole. And I've already flipped through some of it. Here are some of the spreads. This is the season with, no, this is the edition with all of the ads. It's the big Vogue, the major Vogue. I think a lot of fashion houses are coming out with their collections, so it's bought out a lot. I think what I'm gonna do is go through it with these sticky notes. They're the special see-through ones, and I'm gonna make notes on the pages that I like and would like to maybe cut out and scrapbook, but also some of the writings that I like. One of the major things that I'd love to turn into a poster are some of the Chanel spreads. I think Chanel spreads are incredibly beautiful. The cover, of course, because Vogue. And also there are some of the pages, let me get to it, where it's just introducing the entire Vogue team like this. I think this would be a crazy cool poster. So I'd love to do this and also make something inspired of it for myself, because I'd really like to make a website or my own magazine one day. The dream is to do something in magazine work. I've had that dream since I was a kid. So I've switched to my front camera for a bit. I'm on my phone. I finished getting ready for the day. One of my resolutions is to be someone who gets ready and puts in effort. And so I put on eyeliner, mascara, and then lip gloss because I think eyeliner is my favorite thing. But I have a mixture of hooded eyes and naturally curled lashes, so it's like a very big learning curve. But I've been practicing, and I think I'm getting there. Anyway, so I wanted to show my little office setup. This is a spare room because my sister moved out, so I just moved in immediately. So this is my little setup. So there's the desk, I have my laptop, I have a monitor, a lamp. It's not very aesthetic, it's not very clean, but it works, and it's what I have. And so I'm probably just going to be sat here for a bit, going through the magazine like I said. I also have my Substack. I'm not sure yet about this part. I'm not sure if collation is the right word that I want, but I also don't want something as basic as collection. But I'll be drafting and working through that, and I can show my draft. So this is the draft that I wrote whilst I was traveling yesterday. Oh, let me turn it the right way. This is the draft that I wrote whilst I was traveling yesterday. So I'm probably just gonna focus on all of this and also make a clear to-do list for my day. Got my tea, and I'm going to make a big to-do list first. I have so much stuff on here I shouldn't have, but yeah, let me get everything sorted. I'm also doing this without my glasses, so I can't see. Something that I forgot to mention, let me not get all the mess in there. Something that I forgot to mention is that I started this free online Harvard course called Masterpieces of World Literature, and I've only watched the introductory video so far, but it seems really, really interesting, and I'm very, very excited to do it. I'm also trying to read more books, but books that actually add to my life. So right now I have in an archive, let me get it up. It's a book on I'm trying to see. It's a book on African philosophical thoughts by Kuruka, I believe. And it's just on Internet Archive. So I used it in my essay and I found it really interesting, so I'm hoping to do more on that. Yeah, I also have some independent movies that I'd like to watch. I went to Netflix, then went to independent, and I found this one about a young boy in Malawi who wants to he wants to bring in electricity. It's called The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my watch list because I spend a lot of time scrolling on TikTok and on YouTube, watching a lot of video essays and things like that, but I want to now consume more long-form content so that I myself can have my own ideas and thoughts, my own critical thoughts. I don't want to just lay into the trap of letting people feed me what they've read instead of reading for myself. And that's also another blog post that I want to write about. So I'm just trying to become a more educated, aware person now that education is over. So I've gone through and made some notes in the first part. I'm going to take a short break. I will talk about things that I annotated more in depth, especially the Chanel page. I can't find it now, and I've also got what I've started. I was showing before. I've started on my 12-week year thing, so I'm going to finish this off today. Yes, my year now starts in October, but to put in mini goals for each week so that by the time it reaches January, I should already have made a lot of progress. And then I'm planning out my blog post, and yeah, this is the resolutions, just dumps that I remember everything that I'm doing. Yeah, I keep trying to find angles where I keep that mess out of the frame. Anyway, so I have all of my social media blocked until from 9 to 5 every single day, and it also gets blocked from midnight to 9 a.m. It's really midnight to 5 p.m. no social media, to stop me from wasting time and doom scrolling. But when it hits 5 and everything's unlocked, I'm gonna aim to make about 3 TikToks. Sorry if there's noise. School has ended, so kids are coming home. I want to talk about setting up an October curriculum. I want to talk about my hobbies, and I want one about the book that I'm reading. I don't want to overthink content, because I've noticed when I get in my head too much, then I just make absolutely nothing at all, which is worse than making bad content. And I also want to focus on just making art, whether it's perfect or not, just to get started and to be doing something. So for now, I'm going to take a little break. I might read my book, and then I'll just note down what content I want to make to get rid of all the decision fatigue when the time actually comes. So this is the book that I'm reading, An Anthropologist on Mars by Oliver Sacks, and it's a non-fiction book. It explains here. Oliver Sacks, he was a neurologist. I have a background in neuroscience, which is how I found out about him and his books. And I also studied science communication, which is also why I care about reading science books, because this is science communication. That's what my master's was in. And basically, he's just sharing stories of people who had interesting neurological conditions and how it impacted their lives and what it taught him, or what it's taught neuroscience about the brain and how the brain works. A lot of this is just how people begin to adapt to their new conditions, how they handle their new life. So I've already finished the first chapter, The Case of the Colorblind Painter. Really, really interesting. He maybe had a stroke at the same time he had a car accident, and at first he didn't even remember that he had an accident. He only found out when he heard about the police report. But basically after the accident, he just lost all sense of color, and he sees things in black and white, but not like a black and white photo, in a very distorted, they describe it as a dirty black and white, so everything became really sickening to him. And although he had all of the colors memorized, like the Pantone colors and their numbers, he actually couldn't paint with color anymore, so he switched to a black and white sort of thing. That's a really bad summary. But yeah, it just speaks about how he begins to adjust to his new life in black and white and his condition. And I've just started this one, The Last Hippie, about a young guy who had a brain tumor, and it managed to grow to the size of about an orange or a small grapefruit. And then by the time he got to surgery, because he was in a Hare Krishna temple before, and they had kind of they didn't realize that the condition he had wasn't just a spiritual awakening, but he actually had a tumor. So by the time he actually got to a hospital, irreversible damage had been done to his brain. But the thing is, he only has memories up to about 1970, and then from there he can no longer really make any new memories. But he's very happy and satisfied in life. I haven't finished it yet, but yeah, I really, really enjoy Oliver Sacks's writing style. He doesn't write like how a lot of scientists write. He actually I have some bit of trauma from like science journals and papers of people not really knowing how to write, which is why I wanted to do science communication. But he genuinely writes this like a storybook, and I feel like I've learned a lot about writing and what writing can be, especially with regards to science, and that I shouldn't just limit myself to just say the facts as straight as possible, A to B or whatever, but I can actually make science personal, because it is personal. Science affects people and it's happening to people every day. So yeah, I'm gonna continue reading, and hopefully by the time it hits 4:30 I'll plan my short form content, and then again just start filming, not think about it too much, not overthinking. Oh, there's pictures, exciting. So yeah, I'm gonna get started. Here's the blurb. Okay, I found a good example to explain the book. So this is the last hippie chapter that I was talking about. So this person is suffering with memory loss and memory formation particularly. So Oliver Sacks begins by explaining about explicit learning, which is basically, I think, if you're telling somebody something directly to teach them, rather implicit learning, which I'd say is learning from experience, like remembering the way to your favorite shop. You're learning that over time through repetition rather than being taught something in a classroom. So since this person has a lot of damage in their temporal lobe, which is to do with memory formation, it comes to a point where if you tell them something directly, they'll be able to hold it for the first few minutes, but if they get distracted or they start thinking about something else, they'll lose all memory of even being told the sentence. They'll forget that it even exists. But this guy is still able to find his way to the cafe or the game room in the hospital that he's staying in, so he has implicit learning intact. So that shows you that it's different parts of the brain holding different kinds of memories and memory formation. And for him, when he gets taught something in the explicit learning, like if you tell him a sentence and tell him to memorize it, what he's missing is the function that then transfers short-term to long-term memory. So I'm guessing his brain isn't forming new connections between what he's been told and him trying to remember it. So it just gets lost, as if it's sort of like, he gives the example that it's like you can have something in your brain, but maybe you forget it, and it's like, oh, it was just on the tip of my tongue. But if you have a condition like him, it's not even on the tip of your tongue. You forget that what you were talking about even existed as soon as it's over, as soon as the moment's over. So I think that is a better explanation now that I've read a bit more. You can also probably read it through my camera. Hi, so it's literally the middle of the night, which is why I am whispering. I did not film my short form content, but I've not given up. I've got everything that I spoke about ready to do it now, and I also added in this extra thing. I'm going to talk about my October curriculum, talk about the Harvard course, my books, maybe studying a language, and then I want to talk about things that I've been enjoying, and I think I'll start with those 2 videos, and then hopefully tomorrow I can be more dedicated to taking shots throughout the day, so I can do mini vlogs. And then I also hope to start on the musical, and I also still need to finish my 12-week plan, but I didn't want to just cancel my video log for the day. I realized I just left it without any sort of conclusion, and I didn't explain what this is. This is something I got in Paris a very long time ago, but it still works. I don't want to wake everybody in my house up, so I'm going to leave it at that. But that's it for today, and hopefully I can edit and upload this tomorrow, and then record everything tomorrow and edit it, upload it. Like, I just want to upload videos daily so I can keep track of myself. To be honest, I think these videos are just so I can say to myself in the future that I'm happy that I tried. Also, I'm not wearing my glasses and I can't see myself, so no idea where I'm looking right